That's part of what my doctorate showed, was that we have what we call, what I formally called a new construct called career identity disillusionment.
Everything happens for a reason. I went through a really negative experience in that relationship. It was very toxic. And I have no regrets that I ended up moving over.
When we're 7, 8, 10, 12, somewhere in there, we have all decided we're going to vet school.
Oh, so she was at a breaking point.
Right. I almost had to, I kind of had to sit down with her, and I had a little come to Jesus. And I mean, but I called her parents because I was worried. I'm like, hey, she might be leaving. I don't think she should leave. She'll regret it forever.
Because you know what? You have to go through shitty experiences to either gain some degree of knowledge, wisdom, recognize what you could have done differently, right? Like, that's the only way to learn, is making those mistakes.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Irreplaceable Truths. This is Dr. G. Today I have in-house guest, Dr. Woon. We met in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken.
Did, which without context sounds very seedy.
It was the Vegas conference. And we got to film some stuff there.
That was fun.
We got to talk to each other. We got to go to the hotel bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went for dinner. We went for a really late dinner afterwards.
Yeah, we
with
did.
Valerie.
That's right. We went to that pizza place.
Yes.
You're vegan.
I am.
That's right. Now it's all coming back.
It had an entire vegan menu.
I know. It was pretty. Well, Vegas is pretty up to speed.
Yeah, they have anything and everything dining wise.
Yeah. And I remember we were talking about a lot of stuff. And one of the cool things that for everyone to hear is you're from Australia. You went to vet school in Australia.
I did.
And then you came to the States.
Yeah.
Why did you come to the States?
Good question. I get asked that all the time. Every client that meets me, the second they hear my accent, like, where is your accent from? Why did you come here? Also, a lot of people are like, why are you still in America when you could be in Australia?
I agree with that 1,000%.
I get asked that all the time. I'm like, I don't know. There's a number of reasons. But what brought me, candidly, what brought me to America in the very first place is that I was doing some externships in America. We're allowed to do 2 elective externships overseas. I chose America because I was always interested in shelter medicine, and we didn't have the board certified shelter specialty that you could pursue in Australia. I either would have to go to Europe or America. So I'd always kind of considered, in the future, I'll probably at some point go to America and do the board certified shelter specialty. So I chose 2 American externships. I did South Florida Wildlife Center, which was a rehab center.
Which is pretty awesome.
You've been there.
I'm from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh my fucking God. Am I allowed to swear?
Yo, you are. Fuck yeah. Go for it.
How did this not come up? I had no idea you were from Fort Lauderdale.
What are you talking about? You called me from a Florida phone number.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I then intuitively knew that.
No, I said I'm from South Florida.
I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, so
but I also don't have a very good short-term memory, so I mean, that's not surprising that I don't remember that.
It's all the illegal Australian drugs.
Yeah, it's all the partying in college during vet school. But yeah, I didn't remember that. So of course you would. It's literally in Fort Lauderdale. Mm-hmm. So I did an elective externship there. I then did a high volume spay-neuter externship in North Florida. Shout out to First Coast No More Homeless Pets. I hope they still...
Where was that?
That was in Jacksonville.
Yeah, they still exist.
Oh, great. I'll see you know about them.
Yes. And also my mentor from when I first started as a kennel boy and all that fun stuff, he now lives in Naples, and he runs a high volume, high quality spay-neuter in Naples.
Okay. What was his name?
Bob Whedon.
Oh my gosh. I know Bob. Well, I knew Bob. He probably doesn't remember me.
Oh, so you knew Bob?
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, he shout out to Bob because he was my second dad in vet school. I went in undergrad. When I got into vet school, he's the one who reserved the U-Haul and loaded it and drove it to Illinois.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. How did you know each other?
He owned the clinic I worked at in North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, what a small world.
Yeah. So it is. And by the way, to all the listeners out there, veterinary medicine is very small. You might think it's huge, but it's very small.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to meet people that you know you. And it's out of nowhere. You're going to get like, hey, I was in Philadelphia and I met someone that knew you from wherever.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, there's always was it 1 degree of, what is the expression?
1 degree of separation.
Yeah, I was going to say 1 degree of connection. Yeah, so he's such a legend in the shelter world.
Right.
And I met him, actually the first time I met him is because the very first time I came to America was because I won an essay contest that they were holding for vet students. The Alliance for Contraception in Cats and Dogs was holding an essay contest. And
he was on that board.
Yeah, he was heavily involved with them. And so I was flown to Portland as a vet student and I attended their conference.
I'm sorry about that. Portland. Oh.
Wait, what? No, I think it's deteriorated since then. That was 2013.
Okay. Yeah.
It was amazing in its heyday back in 2013, but I've heard it has gone to shit.
Yes, it's not the best. Portland, San Francisco, all those amazing towns. It's crazy. I mean, I went to Vets for Pets in Portland.
Yeah.
They had it there for some reason. Don't know why, but it was a ghost town. There was nobody on the streets. They were like, do not go out at night. And when the Ubers pulled up to pick you up, the drivers would not get out of the car because literally people would jump in their car and drive off.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So but anyways, you came to Portland, you went to you probably was at the Marriott, if I'm not mistaken.
Gosh, no, were we in the Fairmont?
Oh, you were.
I feel like we might have been in the Fairmont, but I might be thinking of another vet student conference thing that I went to in Montreal. I don't know. Yeah. It's all blended into, this was more than a decade ago.
Right. Montreal is another great town. If you ever get a chance to go to a veterinary clinic or conference in Montreal, yes. I recommend doing it. The food's incredible.
It was.
The people actually were very friendly.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't used to. Oh, from South Florida.
Oh, yeah. People say that about South Florida.
Yeah, well, the Quebecians were the worst during the winter, the snowbirds. But if you get a chance to go to Montreal for a veterinary conference, I would take it.
It's such a romantic city.
It's gorgeous, and the food and the booze and everything's open till 4 or 5 o'clock at night. It's like it's like very vibrant. Morning? Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Everything's very vibrant.
It's like a really idyllic. I was there in August, September. So
perfect weather.
Magical. Yeah.
Perfect weather.
Beautiful.
So you come to the States. Did you get board certified in shelter med?
No. So we have to keep going backwards to the point where I did the externships. Yeah. I ended up having a summer romance with someone at South Florida Wildlife Center. And we then did, I don't even want to have to go into this, but I will. We then did long distance and I moved over to South Florida the following year. And we subsequently broke up shortly thereafter. I was still on really good terms with his family. Well, I was still I would like meet with his mother for coffee. I adored his grandma. She was like this.
So you broke my number one daddy rule because I have 3 daughters. You never move anywhere for a fucking guy.
Oh, I mean, I can see how that is wise advice in hindsight. But you know what my pearl of wisdom is, or something that I wholly believe and have at every point in my life, is that, everything happens for a reason. I know people are going to be like, oh, well, then why did this happen? And why did this happen? And this fucked up my life. But truly, I mean, I went through a really negative experience in that relationship. It was very toxic. And I have no regrets that I ended up moving over.
Yeah,
relationship. Yeah, because you know what, you have to go through shitty experiences to either gain some degree of knowledge, wisdom, recognize what you could have done differently, right? Like that's the only way to learn, is making those mistakes.
Well then, okay, let's jump right in. Those mistakes, do you have the same thought of wisdom when it comes to practicing medicine?
Oh, I wouldn't say so, because when it comes to practicing medicine, of course I'm going to be super risk averse. But no, sorry, it does apply there, because anytime I've made a mistake in practice, it has taught me a lesson of some kind. That's for sure.
So and that's the thing. Yeah. So you said, when we're starting this whole thing, you're a perfectionist, right?
Yeah.
Were you a perfectionist in vet school?
You know what? I would say I was a perfectionist up until vet school.
Mm-hmm.
I really endeavored to get into vet school despite not being strong in science and even maths, which is unconventional for an Asian person. My strongest subjects were English, and anything artsy really was my strength. And I played.
So you're creative.
I'm so much more creative than I am science minded. And I know you can be both, but I just was never really a science oriented person or a math oriented person. I was always, I'm very like whimsical, and definitely my greatest passion and joy is pursuing anything creative. And so I had to work my ass off to get into vet school, to get that mark that I needed to get. And then once I got into vet school, I wasn't holding myself to such a high standard anymore, because in Australia, we have this saying. I know you guys have an equivalent saying, but we say P's make degrees.
C equals DVM.
Okay. Wait, C equals DVM?
That's a math equation.
Is it? Okay.
No.
It's a real...
C, your grade, if you're the passing grade, equals Doctor of Veterinary Medicine.
Right.
C equals DVM. That's the equation.
Okay. I like ours better.
The problem, I followed that. My wife was still trying to be a perfectionist in vet school.
Oh, really?
Really made the first year of our relationship very hard, because she would get so mad at me because I would be going to the bars.
Yeah.
I'd be going to the football games. I would be going to the basketball games. I'd be trying to absorb everything the University of Illinois could offer me.
Yeah, likewise.
And she was studying and studying and studying. And you know what? Then all of a sudden she saw the light.
Really? At what point did she realize I don't have to...
After she almost left vet school.
Oh, so she was at a breaking point.
Right. I almost had to, I kind of had to sit down with her, and I had a little come to Jesus. And but I called her parents because I was worried. I'm like, hey, she might be leaving. I don't think she should leave. She'll regret it forever. And we made it very clear to her that that this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then she started enjoying it.
Oh, good.
She actually, we went to Chicago on the weekends. We would go to Indianapolis. We'd go to St. Louis. We'd go canoeing in the it's called Turkey Run. It's a river about 40 minutes away from Champaign-Urbana. We would go start doing stuff with the other classmates that weren't the perfectionists. Right. Because we had those classmates, which we used to call the gunners, or I did. The gunners are the ones that would get in there and just pound it. Like, I got to get the straight A's. And they completely fry by their junior year.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I think I'd already burned myself out just getting into vet school. But I wasn't expecting to become the socialite that I did. Like, I just went into vet school with a very open mind.
Were you very introverted going into vet school?
Not at all. I don't think I've ever been introverted in my life.
Okay. Which is strange, because usually the very artsy English majors, they're usually very, very quiet, because they're always,
because they're like
doing something,
contemplating life and philosophies. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really fit into one box. That's the other thing that I've realized as I've aged. Is that you don't have to fit into one box, because I've never wanted to fit into a box, but I've always known it was very unconventional for me to enjoy partying, but also be a bookworm, and to do music, but also be interested in XYZ. And I've never really been part of a clique. I certainly would consider myself like a nerd in high school, but again, I was never like a true nerd, because I still like loved dressing up, and and I was also very sporty, right? Which doesn't usually fit in with like the nerd group. So yeah, I guess, I went into vet school not realizing I would enjoy partying.
Partying is the best.
Well, I had not even consumed alcohol before going to vet school. I was 17 when I started vet school.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're a baby. That's right. They do it weird over there. Yeah. Do you still have a group of friends that you're still close with from your vet school class?
No, because I didn't have that many friends in vet school.
You didn't have that many friends from the school?
I had a lot of friends in my dorm. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We call dorms in Australia, I don't know if you're aware of this, because the lingo gets a bit confusing, but we call dorms colleges. And I know you guys, and we call university uni, and you guys call university college, and then you call our colleges dorms. So it gets a little confusing, but I will translate. So the dorm that I was in was not one of like the sorority fraternities. So they weren't like chug, 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 like they weren't like doing all these initiations where they would put a hose down your throat and you have to, but it was perfect for me because it was such a welcoming environment into the party culture.
Yeah.
Because
Australians are big partiers.
They are. And I was shout out to International House, Sydney University. I was at International House. Have you heard of
No.
the International House colleges? So they have them around the world. They have one at like every one of the, I guess, more prominent universities, like at Berkeley, UC Berkeley, at UC Davis. Like there's International House dorms.
I
a lot of different.
More than likely did not qualify for any university that had an
I'm
international
sure. No.
house.
Well, about that though, the people who did qualify for the top, the people who did get the topmost marks and then got the topmost marks in university, they don't make the most successful vets or the best vets, right? Because they
don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah, they didn't develop their communication skills and their social skills. Those are far more important in being successful post vet school. So yeah, anyway, I was at International House and that's where I learned the various alcohols that existed. And I used to have a really negative perception of drinking. And like as a child, I was really conservative. I literally used to say as a child, this was not influenced really by anyone. I would just think, I had this perception that people only drink to be cool. I don't want to ever try to be something that I'm not. So I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't ever plan to drink alcohol. I'll never do drugs. Like I was the best little goody two shoes you could hope
But
for.
Who was telling you that? But it was the media, was your teachers?
I think if you're brought up in an Asian household, that is generally the perception. But it's not like it was like my parents weren't tiger mom type parents, right? They did have high expectations of us. They expected us to work hard, but they were fairly unconventional as far as Asian parents because, first of all, they would always tell us that they love us, which is very hard for
even when you got a D in calculus.
Absolutely. They always made us feel loved. They are the best parents. They were strict in certain ways. I would say they were not strict. They were disciplined. So we had like a certain number of hours we were allowed to watch television, which thank God, because I have ADHD and I probably would have just been addicted to television if I just had my way. But they were disciplined in that, they did sign us up for music lessons, right? I did want to play the violin and the piano. So they signed me up for both because that's what you do as an Asian
High five.
parent.
I played both of those too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yep. I was a band geek. I was a swimmer. I swam in college.
Oh, wow.
I did all those things. And it's funny. And it's a funny thing you said ADHD. The more veterinarians I talk to and meet and network with and all that, a great majority of us have that. I do.
I concur. I've noticed that there's a lot of neurodiversity in our profession, like a dominance of neurodiversity and particularly ADHD.
ADHD.
Yeah.
The neurodivergent whole conversation, it's a little different for me, because I never saw myself as an academician. Ever. I graduated high school with a C average. If it wasn't for swimming, I never would have gotten into any schools.
Wow.
And then when I got to school though, college, I was like, oh, I better do something with my life.
Yeah.
And then I did well enough to get into vet school.
What inspired you to even choose vet school?
Okay, well, I'm like every other veterinarian. Like when I was 7 years old, the veterinarian that we used to take our dog to was an absolute quack.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I instilled in my body that starting at the age of 7, I want to go to vet school.
Wait, he was a quack, but that inspired you?
Because I wanted to fucking prove that that's not how you do it.
Oh, okay. That's like such a reverse story from most people.
Yeah, like
most people are like, my vet was amazing and I wanted
this guy,
to be that.
he was awful.
Oh,
awful.
Wow. Okay.
Awful.
Oh, wow. So that
Michigan State should be embarrassed that he got a degree from there. Yeah. That's how bad he was.
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, there's so many awful old school vets who shouldn't have ever practiced, right?
Right. But he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Well, and that's part of what my doctorate showed was that we have what I formerly called a new construct called career identity disillusionment, which is when we're 7, 8, 10, 12, somewhere in there, we have all decided we're going to vet school.
Yeah.
There are very few people that decide in undergrad, I'm going to be a veterinarian. Right. Now, I'm not saying there isn't, but that's rare. Like everyone's always decided that 8-year-old kid is going to decide what I'm going to do as an adult.
Yeah.
Right? So as an adult, the last thing you do is ever listen to what an 8-year-old kid tells you.
Yeah.
But we listened to our 8-year-old decision to become a vet, and we decided, okay, I got to do all this studying, I got to do all this sacrificing, I got to put all this money in, all this time, because I want to help and protect animals. And then you get into practice and boom, it is nothing that you had expected.
No.
And you have actually identity entrapment. Your identity is entrapped and you're getting barraged with moral injury, lack of recovery, emotional rumination, where you go home and think about the clients and the cases.
Absolutely.
And the problem is like, I have a vet degree. What else can I do?
Yeah. Which is interesting because I think a lot of people feel like they can't do anything else, but there's so many options. As
so
a
many. Like you tell anyone you're a veterinarian, they'll be like, oh wow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, they're like, oh, my school debt is bad. But if a bank finds out your school debt is from you becoming a veterinarian, you can get any loan you want.
Oh, you need to share this with everyone. I didn't know that, but I don't think most people know
School loan debt to become a veterinarian is looked at like good debt, like a mortgage on a house.
It should be perceived that way. It should be, right? I feel like any education.
What is the most, other than a nurse, what's the most? Nurses are always going to be needed. Veterinarians are always going to be needed. You graduated vet school when?
2014.
Okay, so you missed the whole Great Recession in veterinary medicine.
Was that in the U.S. though?
It was around the world.
Oh, okay.
And guess what? Veterinary medicine made it through.
Oh.
We didn't have to shut our doors. We weren't going bankrupt. We weren't veterinarians. We're still doing it. Yes. Were we seeing less clients? Yes. Were clients hurting for money? 1,000%. But we made it happen, right? We cut hours down. I didn't fire anybody. We didn't close our doors. We didn't cut hours as far as when we were open. We still were able to make it happen. And then we were finally making it. And then you graduated in 2014, right when we were kind of recovering. And then 2020 hits. Boom, another one hits us.
Yeah. Yeah. and then exponentially has an impact on our mental health furthermore because of the overload post-pandemic. Because of everyone adopting every shelter animal ever or purchasing a puppy.
Which is phenomenal.
It was phenomenal until what I predicted, which is that when people started resuming their normal work hours and habits, they then relinquished all these poor animals back to the shelters.
See, in South Orange County, I didn't have that problem.
That's great.
It was awesome.
I can imagine the different demographics would be affected.
See, my prediction was all these animals are going to need trazodone or some sort of behavioral modification because they all of a sudden have separation anxiety.
Oh, pandemic pups.
Yeah,
pandemic pups term is such a real thing.
Yeah, where are all my people? Where do my people go?
If I go to a home, because I pretty much now exclusively do home euthanasia, but if I see the younger pet in the household and I see how anxious they are, I'm like, that was a pandemic pup.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just have like no social skills with new people.
Right. Well, they knew how to get walked 17 times a day because that's the only way we could get out of our house.
Right. Yeah.
That was another problem too, because the other problem I think, and no one really, there's a few things that happened I owned 2 clinics during COVID. Okay. I made it a standing rule that said if an animal needs to be seen, we get them in. We were doing curbside. We were so fucking efficient. It was moving great.
That's amazing.
You're right. Like I felt we were more efficient when we were curbside.
Right. For sure.
Because I could literally load up every exam room with a dog from the parking lot.
Yeah.
And go through it. And then you have to trust your team and believe in your team, which I totally did. Said blood on this one, x-ray on this one, this on this one, this on this one. And then I'd go outside and talk to every one of the clients.
Wow. Well, you also kind of cut out a lot of the bullshit, right? Doing it that way. Yeah, I think curbside did have some advantages for some practices. I know certain staff in our practice were relieved that there was curbside actually. Yeah. So there were some benefits there. And I know some practices maintained curbside thereafter because it was just more efficient for their.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible.
So you were in obviously California during the pandemic. I was fortunate to be in Florida during that time. We didn't have nearly as many restrictions.
No,
it was like I was like, there's
going.
a pandemic.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, Mallory, the lady who works here, was working with me during the pandemic, and it was absolutely incredible how everything went. Everything was phenomenal. It was absolutely incredible how well she was running everything and everyone was running everything. Yeah, did we go home tired? Yes, but we did not go home emotionally exhausted.
Yeah,
it was physical
difference.
Yeah, it was physical exhaustion.
Yeah,
which
I don't mind physical exhaustion.
No, physical exhaustion you can recover from.
Yeah,
emotional exhaustion is an absolute nightmare.
That is
because when you're emotionally exhausted, it's impossible to fall asleep. It's impossible to recover. And all the things when you're emotionally exhausted you used to do, you don't do.
Yeah.
You don't go to religious services. You don't go out to eat with friends. You don't go have cocktails. You don't go on dates. You come home, you sit on your couch. You don't talk to anyone in the house because you are exhausted.
Yeah, that is how some people react to their emotional exhaustion.
How did you? I mean, you were obviously, because you're doing a bunch of things and now you're doing at-home euthanasia. So somewhere along the line, something had to have triggered that this is a problem.
That what is a problem?
Like you were having a problem. Like you've
with
adapted,
practice?
Right? You have adapted. Like what my research shows is that you can do 4 things when you realize that you're entrapped, right? And you're doing something that you didn't sign up for. You can leave. You can go to part-time.
Yeah.
Or relief. You can stay and detach and be miserable.
That's very accurate.
Or you hurt yourself. Those are your 4 options, right?
With vices and such. Yeah. I definitely had moments of burnout in clinical practice. That's for sure. I think it's not a secret that in the vet world, there's a lot of toxic workplaces. It has like a very toxic culture. And I think that's increasingly being more addressed and focused on in the past 5 to 10 years. But I get asked all the time, like, why did you choose in-home euthanasia?
Absolutely.
As your focus, right? People
100%. That was a question I wanted to go at. Euthanasia to me was today, especially as I went through my career, hardest thing I could possibly do.
I hear that from so many vets.
Hardest.
Everything is so different in how, what their forte is, what they're affected by. I mean, I couldn't do relentless surgery, which I'm sure you're very capable of doing, right?
Bring it on. I love surgery all day long.
Right. I could honestly do euthanasia all day long.
You do.
I do, but I have a pretty light schedule. I mean, I can create my own schedule now.
Yeah.
And so I can be as busy as I want to be. And so, yes, I could do it literally all day long. And I do a lot of very late evening appointments. But yes, to answer your question, what kind of propelled me in that direction is, first of all, I just kind of started noticing that I had an affinity for home euthanasia. So when I would do them in the clinic, which was really only like once a week, maybe, like so rarely did we do it.
That was an option you gave your clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As in in-clinic euthanasia.
Oh, your clinic didn't allow you to go to someone else's home.
No, we didn't. There was only...
Oh, we had that option.
Well, that's beautiful. We didn't even have that option. And the one time I did it was for a special circumstance. I'll go into that later, which then was kind of the beginning of that trajectory even, which was not a plan of any kind. It just happened that way. But no, I had only experienced in-clinic euthanasia. But my clients, my pet parent clients, were always just so effusively grateful for the energy, the care that I gave them in this, experience of in-clinic euthanasia. And, that's when you get the gifts from the clients as well. Like I would get flowers from clients for them just being grateful.
Boxes of food, homemade meals.
Yeah, which
unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Like those simple acts of kindness are 1,000-fold what it can do for your staff and for yourself.
Seriously. Oh, absolutely. Even like a little thank you card means the world.
Especially when it comes from the kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, those kill me.
Gosh.
Those kill me.
I was never fortunate enough to get anything from a child. But
Oh, wow.
It would have been. I would have loved that.
I got a question. Did you keep all your cards that you got from clients?
You know what? I have tried to, but I've moved about 8 times in the past decade. So I have them in I have various special boxes where cards.
So you still have them?
Yeah. Of
course.
Because
if I ever had a bad day,
yeah,
I would just read through them.
That's such a good idea. Someone mentioned that I don't know where I read it, but they said like they were giving advice to vet students, I think, or new graduates. And they were like, keep every thank you letter you ever get. And on hard days, you should, which is, I think it's great advice. I never did that myself. I never went back and just read them when I was feeling sick.
Well, it's because the 3% of clients make you want to quit your job.
Right.
You forget about
than 3%.
Right. It's like you forget about the 97, 98% that absolutely love you and talk to you about everybody. Like I had a client that would be at Costco buying the staff muffins and telling everybody while she's in line that she's buying muffins. It was an older widowed lady. One loved her, Joe Monterisi. I'll never forget her. But she would tell everyone that she's buying muffins for her vet clinic. And the only reason I knew she did that is because I had a client come in and tell me, hey, do you know a Joan? She was at Costco buying muffins.
And she was, oh my gosh, I love that.
But you see, though, that's part of the things that it's very human nature to forget that, right? Because I don't know do we like putting ourselves into situations where we just like to beat ourselves up?
I think it's very natural for humans to do that, isn't it? Again, like we're so hypercritical, self-critical. So no, it's by no means healthy, but it seems to be such a natural tendency to focus on the negatives instead of the many, many positives in our lives that we could be grateful for.
And I think the profession is a huge positive. Love the profession. In
itself. The fact that we can do this work.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. And it is like the one bad apple that can ruin, especially like a new graduate's day.
Right. And
because they'll just punish themselves.
I would do it for free.
Yeah.
I would do it for free. Everyone's like, you're crazy, and I'm like,
I wish I could do it for free.
I wish I could do it for free.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I loved working in nonprofits. But then you find that a lot of nonprofits have their own internal issues. And so while you might be working your hardest for the cause and for the mission, it doesn't always transpire in that way, right? If the management of that particular nonprofit does not actually have your same ideals.